There's been a few people talking about the solar flash, but this question is in regard to S.A. Smith, A Girl in the Universe's interview with Todd Medina that Susie and I saw. Um, she was led by her angels in August to tell people about the flash in order to get us ready, meaning doing the inner work, so it's an easier transition. And what will happen shortly is what they had told her was a solar flash would come, the event, and we'd be supposedly 3 days of darkness, which just means we'll be sleeping for 3 days. And some of us that are already awakened will be woken up within 24 hours with full memory of our past. And we'll be assisting the rest of the people when they wake up in 3 days and also regain their memory in gates and bridges to ships where they'll be deprogrammed, getting ready for Blessed Gaia or New Earth, and then placed once they're healed into New Earth. And I don't know whether it's this planet, cleansed, or it's another 5D or 6D version of it. But we have already built in our dream time. We have made our homes and got everything ready. So my question is this legitimate from her sources? Is it legitimate, or is it just another carrot on the stick? Is it literal, or is it metaphorical? Could you expand on this, please? Thanks so much.
Thank you, dear one. There is some legitimacy to this information, yes, dear ones, and I will do my best to extrapolate through this channel. There is much to discuss here, dear ones, and some of this we have spoken about already in other ways, in other transmissions, perhaps using different terminology, but it is the same idea. When I first began speaking through this channel, we spoke of a wave that would be coming to planet Earth, and some humans would be dematerializing and going back to source. As you are aware, the timelines changed for that plan, and other plans were put in place and developed, and the timelines for those have changed and shifted through the years and the months. And so this idea that there will be a grand shift on planet Earth, whether you call it a solar flash, a wave, a sonic boom, or whatever terminology you perceive, there is truth to this idea that there will be a great shift upon your planet Earth. Dear ones, you are in that shift now. It has been occurring. You have been building up to it. It has been unfolding in the past months and years. This divine plan has been in the works for eons of time because it is part of the unfolding of your universe. There have been many attempts to slow things down, to change trajectory or change course. But built into the creation of this universe is ascension. And what I mean by this is that this is a universe where souls and beings are meant to go through a journey to evolve, to expand. This is how your universe is set up. This is part of the energy signature and core creation code of your universe. So yes, planet Earth will be going through a massive shift. And because you are limited in your experience of time and your understanding of time from the human point of view, it is difficult to receive all of the information coming through multiple sources and make sense of it. And so this being, SA, has brought through her understanding and perception of what is happening and will be happening, just as this channel brought through her understanding and perception when I first began speaking through her. And it is the same for all of the other people bringing through information about this. You will notice that some of the information correlates and some is different. And so if you wanted to do a research study, you could take in all the information and find the most consistent points that correspond to each other to get the most complete picture. Because each channel is limited in their perception of the information that is being given available to them. So, what is legitimate about the shift that this planet is going through and that you as humans are going through is that there are tremendous amounts of light frequencies flooding your planet now. There are tremendous amounts of light frequencies penetrating the hearts and the beings of humans, animals, plants, and life on your planet and in your solar system, and in many parts of your galaxy as well. These light frequencies and codes are activating your DNA to the remembering of who you are and your spiritual nature, your spiritual gifts and talents, your true abilities at the soul level, which can be expressed through the human form as your frequencies increase. These light code frequencies are activating your light bodies, your physical human bodies, your minds, your hearts, all parts of your being, your multifaceted nature, your multifaceted aspects that interact with other realms, realities, dimensions. The entirety of you, down to the soul level, are being activated by these frequencies. And so this is much greater than an event occurring on planet Earth. What is happening with these light frequencies goes much deeper than Earth's ascension and human ascension. Yes, as we have spoken about before, Earth is the activation point for ascension. And humans are a part of this. as an agreement has been made with humans and Earth to ascend together. But these light frequencies are very much working to expand your universe. And so, as we have discussed before, there is planetary ascension, solar system ascension, galactic ascension, universal ascension. And then it ripples out into the multiverse, the omniverse, all the way back to source. So if you are curious what this looks like, dear ones, you are in the experience now. When you heal yourself and do your inner healing, and you feel a change within yourself, this is ascension. What I wish to say to you, dear ones, is that these ideas about something sudden happening or a grand event on planet Earth, it is not that this is not possible or that something like this will not happen. But I wish to say to you, dear ones, that what is most important is that you continue to heal yourselves, because this is ascension. This is what is causing the expansion within your universe. It may seem like a great leap in some of your minds that to heal yourself causes expansion within the universe, but I promise you, dear ones, that this is working. And so it is best not to focus on what will happen and when, because this is a mind trap. This is a trap for the mind to engage in something that may or may not be happening in the future and is potentially a distraction from taking you away from your inner work. And when I speak of your inner work and your inner healing, it is not always heavy lifting. It is not always something that is intense and difficult to do. It is everyday mindset shifts, frequency shifts. It is a consistent building and raising of your frequency. This is what is most important, dear ones. And so I am not saying that the information SA has brought through is completely inaccurate, and I'm not saying that it is completely accurate. All is possible, dear ones. So the way she perceives information, this is possible. The way other channels receive and perceive information, that is possible. And in some ways, all of it is happening. And this is where it gets difficult to explain, because how can something different be happening all at the same time? And it has to do with the way the human mind works. It has to do with perception. It has to do with the way the brain receives and perceives information, the way the emotional body receives and perceives information. As many humans as there are on the planet, there are as many possible unfoldings of this event, in quotes. Take a deep breath, dear ones. And so to summarize, the way that SA has delivered the information she has perceived and received is the way she may experience this unfolding. And those who resonate may also have an experience of this version of the unfolding. If her information does not resonate with you, you will have a different experience of the unfolding. And so, will there be 3 days of darkness? It is possible, yes, for some, they will experience this, or a version of this. For others, they may not experience this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. If we are creators, and we are, can we, one thing SA did say is if to pray for what you want. Can we pray for this? Can we pray for our version of heaven on earth?
Absolutely, dear one. This is why you are here. Because to invoke heaven on earth, to create heaven on earth, this is in alignment with universal expansion. This is in alignment with the divine plan. Whatever words you want to put to the infinite expansion of the universe, if there is an increase in frequency, it is in alignment with universal expansion. And so if your version of heaven on earth is an increase in frequency for the experience of yourself and others on planet Earth, then this is in universal alignment.
Yeah, something was mentioned there too. When this, whatever happens, will there be some people or souls evacuated? I don't know whether Julia mentioned that already or not, like on starships and moved, or are we staying all here?
Yes, dear ones, I will do my best to explain. This, again, is where it is difficult for the human mind to fully grasp. I will do my best to explain through this channel that some people may have the experience of being on galactic ships. Some people are having this experience now. Some people may have the experience of going to another planet in their perception. And some people are having this experience now. Some people as I mentioned, may experience 3 days of darkness. And some people are having this experience now on a level. There are many timelines moving, not as in changing course, but moving and dancing together. So instead of everything converging onto one timeline and everyone having the exact same experience, it is now possible that you are tuning into parallel realities, parallel universes, to have your own unique experience while remaining in your body on this planet Earth. What this means is that you are still all interacting together, but you are coexisting with different frequencies. And so someone may be having a very challenging life and vibrating in a slower vibrating frequency, while another is experiencing joy and bliss and vibrating in a faster vibrating frequency, and you are coexisting on this planet. This is why some of you are experiencing a massive increase in your frequency, but still attracting or interacting with those who are of a very different frequency from you, because you now have the ability to coexist in a way that you did not before. This is somewhat new, dear ones. This came into the planet around your Easter in the United States, your Easter holiday in April. This ability emerged within you, and these timelines dancing together and coexisting together emerged. So this is a relatively new phenomenon that you as humans are experiencing. This is a version of those that you are calling awakened are helping those that you are calling non-awakened cross the bridges. So I am using terminology that Essa used with crossing the bridges. This is a version of assisting those who want to be assisted in increasing their vibrating speed to cross the bridge to a new reality. And you are doing this all while staying on planet Earth. Now, is it possible that with new frequencies, you will go to another planet called New Earth? I would like to address this, dear ones. The most likely timeline is that you will stay on this planet. You will experience staying on this planet. And in reality, what you are doing is going to another dimensional planet. So it is not in a new geographic location within your solar system or within your galaxy. It is in the same location, but it feels like a new planet because you have increased your frequency. And so you are having a different experience of being on this planet. And in some ways, it has always been this way, dear ones. But in some ways, there are now new possibilities of the experience that you can have here. We have talked many times about activating your spiritual gifts of teleportation, telekinesis, flying, and things of this nature. And what I'm saying to you, dear ones, is that it is possible on this planet with your physical bodies, and it will be a different dimensional experience.
So as we integrate more and more of our soul's essence will resonate with this. I already feel resonance with it. And the word that comes is just to surrender to it. And is that what I'm guided to be in this now, to integrate all of what you say into my being now?
Thank you, dear one. Beautiful question. For you and for everyone else, your task, if you will, is to discern what parts, if any, of this message are for you. Your job is to continue to do your inner healing work, your growth, your expansion, your soul journey, and to tune in to what I am saying. Does this feel right to me? Does this make sense to me? Does this resonate with me? Do I feel in vibrational resonance with this? And to feel with all parts of your being and not to overthink. And so in this way, yes, to surrender. It does not help to try to interpret everything through the mind. This can become a distraction. To some degree, this is a good idea to sort out information. The mind is part of the discernment process. But to, at some point, surrender the mind and to feel into what I am saying. And to feel your body. Is my body vibrating with this information? Is my body rejecting this information? If so, why? Is there something in my way that I would reject this information? Or is my body rejecting this information because I have a knowing for myself that this is not true for me? And so to feel into your body as well as your emotions and your intuitive senses.
I have a question here. As you mentioned that we are getting more light and frequencies coming in still, does it have something to do with the photon belt? That it amplifies it? And how far are we in? Are we still on the edge or deeper in the photon belt now?
Yes, dear one, thank you for this question. This does have relevance in the equation of all things. You are deeper into the photon belt now. About 2 to 3% into how the planet will be traveling through the photon belt. You are only at about 2 to 3%. So you can see your abilities and your progress now that you have made with this degree of transversing into the photon belt. And you can see the potential for how much more light you will be embodying and working with. There are many other energies as well, and we have covered this in other conversations, so I will not reiterate everything at this time, but energies from the great central sun, from the galactic core, from the universal core, etc. All of these energies coming together are part of what allows the timeline dance that I spoke of earlier in this conversation. Because these light frequencies and light codes are able to coexist with each other, they are able to weave together, they are able to integrate together in your solar system, in the stream of light coming to your planet, and in your bodies, and this is the important part, your bodies are receiving these light codes and frequencies from all of these different sources, and you are integrating all of them simultaneously. And this is what allows for the merging of the parallel universes and the multidimensional aspects of yourself, where you are able to hold a frequency for yourself and coexist with someone in a very different frequency and coexist in harmony, at least for yourself. Now, their experience may be different from yours, but this is all very personal.
There is a lot of shadow and darkness within the earth, and that's something that I would really like to work with and remove with your light. And so any guidance or leadership and how to go about doing this more successfully?
Yes, dear one. I will go back to what I have said before, and this applies to everyone, not just this being who asked the question. The important thing to focus on is your inner work. So I will go a bit more into the explanation of this, because there are many questions that have come up relevant to this. When you heal yourself, you change your vibration, you raise your frequency. Because when you heal yourself, you dissolve or neutralize a slower vibrating frequency within you. This causes your frequency to go up. When your frequency goes up, the process of healing yourself creates templates for others to do the same for themselves. And so you contribute to the collective in this way. And when you increase your frequency, you are also expanding your fractal field at the soul level, and this causes a ripple effect within the universe that leads to more expansion. The soul is always on a journey of expansion, growth, evolution, whatever word you would like to assign to this. And so when you heal yourself at the human level, it impacts your soul growth and journey. It changes the frequency of everything. When you heal yourself, the charge of the lower vibrating frequency that was once within you or a part of your experience is neutralized. It no longer vibrates within the universe. Therefore, there is a freeing up of space within yourself, within the universe, and everything in between, the galaxy, the solar system, etc. There is a freeing up of space. There is then the potential for expansion within yourself, within the universe, and everything in between. So to return to your original question, if you wish to remove darkness from the planet, you do this by doing your inner work. This idea of removing darkness is of a paradigm that no longer exists. This was once a way to do things. This was once a way to navigate on your planet. This paradigm no longer exists, dear one. So there is no need to expend your energy to remove darkness or to do cleanup work. Because this is no longer the way, dear ones. This channel has many questions about this. This is something that shifted very recently, dear ones. It has been in the works for a while. This is something that shifted again around your time of Easter in the United States. This is something that will be of great assistance to those of you who have been working with the collective energy. I will do my best to explain a bit more. Each of you will feel this shift in different ways at a different time in your unfolding. So some of you have been feeling more energy, more ability to get things done, so to speak, and some of you have not. For those of you who are experiencing more energy, this is because you are now required to do less heavy lifting within the collective energy field. Those of you who are still feeling fatigue and still working with cleanup energies, this is because you are still in that timeline for yourself. And when it is the right time for you, you will move to another timeline. There's absolutely no judgment about this, dear ones. There is no judgment or being hard on yourself for what timeline you are in. It is part of how the soul works with the timelines. It is part of your personal journey. Do not judge yourself, dear ones. I highly caution you against any form of self-judgment or being hard on yourself. If you are having a certain experience that is different from another, please do not compare yourselves, dear ones. Allow, dear ones, surrender. You will begin to have very different experiences on this planet as you allow yourselves to be in your own unfolding of your own personal journey, as you continue to heal, as you continue to raise your frequency, as you continue to do your inner healing, your inner work. And even the flavor and the experience of doing your inner work may shift and change. Allow it, dear ones. Surrender to it. Embrace it. There is great potential now for very different experiences. Do your best not to get attached to the past, because you can absolutely perpetuate patterns that you have had in the past, even though your soul is calling you and moving you forward. If your mind is locked into and attached to your past experience, you can absolutely stay there. But the opportunity now for very quick expansion and quantum leaps onto new timelines, you have more support now for this than you ever have before, dear ones. And so I invite you to keep your minds open, keep your hearts open, stay open to possibilities. Do your best not to limit yourselves in any way about what can be possible for you. This is a very exciting time on planet Earth for those of you who are open and receptive to creating something brand new. This is very exciting for those of you who are willing to release your old ways of being and not stay attached and in an old way of being. Dear ones, for your month of June 2022 on your planet Earth, there are tremendous openings for your creations. And so all that we have discussed in this conversation today leads into what is possible now and amplifying in June and continuing forward in your experience. I will give you a visual. In the past, I have used the terms focus like a laser beam with your creations. And now I would like to give you a new visual, dear ones. Imagine that there is a funnel going out from you, from your heart, from your third eye, from your voice, from your emotional field, whatever you are using to fuel your creation energy. There is a funnel starting from you, the small end starting from you, and the pathway is widening exponentially. This does not mean that your creation energy is diluted as the path widens. This means that more aspects of creation are interfacing with your intentions and your creation. Remember what I said about the timelines dancing together. What I am saying in regards to your creations is that in the past, when you set forth creation energy, it required a certain vibrational resonance to interact with your creation intentions in order for your creations to come into physicality. What I am saying is that now this has shifted so that when you are setting forth your creations and intentions, even the people, circumstances, environments that are not fully in resonance with your creation are registering the frequencies that you are emanating. This means that there is greater support for your creations to come into physicality. In your human experience, this means that your creations may come into physicality with greater speed than they have in the past. This means that things of a very high frequency may show up in ways that you did not expect, whether it is with greater speed or with people that you did not expect, or circumstances that you did not expect. And so the way that you have thought of your creation abilities in the past, again, dear ones, I invite you to open your minds and your hearts and your beings to new possibilities. this also means, dear ones, that everything that you are emanating has greater potential to come into physicality. And so there is greater responsibility for what you are emanating from your being. There is greater possibility for things that you do not want to come into physicality to come in if you are emanating this from your being. And so it means you must confront and address your fears. It means that you must take responsibility for and address anything that is not in the resonance of what you wish to create. Otherwise, you may end up creating something that you do not like. It means there is greater power now that you are wielding. This channel is asking if there is grace in this process if you create something you do not like. I will say it in this way, dear ones. Yes, there is grace, and you can also quickly change your creation. In other words, if you create something you do not like, you can quickly dissolve it and move on and create something better. So I will use the example of a housing situation, as many are displaced or are in transition. If you end up in a space that you do not like, you can more easily get out of your lease or move on from that situation than in times past, because things are more fluid in this way. And again, this must be something that you resonate with and believe is possible for you, or you will not have this experience. You have more of a struggle experience. So it depends on how open your mind is, how fluid you are, how willing and ready you are to let go of the past and move forward and create a new reality for yourself. This is the essence of June, dear ones. And June is a launching point of sorts, even though the energy of this has already begun. June is a launching point, especially as you move towards the solstice, because the solstice energies provide not just a portal for you to move through into the new energies more easily, but very strong alignments with energy codes and signatures to help you release your past. The solstice energies of June help you release your past. Be very ready and willing, dear ones, to do things differently, to think about things differently, to execute your mission in different ways, to rebirth yourselves, dear ones. Even if what you have been doing so far has been working fairly well, be willing to take quantum leaps so that things can work even better. And I caution you also, dear ones, because those of you whose souls are calling you to make quantum leaps at the human level, if you do not follow this and trust and take those risks, your human experience may be a bit bumpy. And so it is in your best interest for ease of experience to follow the nudgings, the urgings of your soul to move forward. If you are being called to take a risk, do it, dear ones. If you are being called to change things up for yourself, Do not hesitate, dear ones. And as always, there is support for you in this process. You are not alone in taking risks. You are not alone in making these quantum leaps. You are not alone in moving forward. You have great support. And especially now, more and more beings within the collective energy are doing this. And so there is a building momentum that provides additional support for you to be able to do this. To summarize today's transmission, dear ones, this is very, very beautiful, dear ones. As a collective, you have achieved something very important here on this planet. You have been doing the inner work. You have been raising your frequency to the point at which now planet Earth can sustain multiple timelines, multiple frequencies, and you can all work together even if you are in different frequencies. You are all collaborating, and this is very beautiful, dear ones. So there is no one left behind. The shadow forces cannot change this. Yes, they will continue to put on their charades, to play out their theater. Let them play it out, dear ones. This has no relevance for you. If it is affecting you personally, then I urge and invite you to continue to do your inner work, to bring your frequency to a place where you do not feel the emotional charge of what the shadow forces are doing. I will reiterate, dear ones, that there are great possibilities in these times. Open yourselves as much as possible to what you perceive as miracles to occur within your life. I thank you, dear ones. Well, I'm not exactly sure what to say, but I just want to speak about what Prime Creator has said for a minute, because some of what was shared today references a transmission that I did with Prime Creator about the soul. So if you are watching this on my YouTube between June 21st and July 3rd, you have free access to this transmission by joining the Soul Power Symposium, soulpowersymposium.com. You can go there and register for free to access the transmission about the soul. It's a 75-minute transmission that I did with Prime Creator about the soul journey, everything relating to the soul. It's very extensive. So what Prime Creator is saying today, I'm going to have to go back and listen to this again, because what I felt from it is that we are just now in a time of infinite expansion, and our abilities as humans, it really felt like there are no limitations now. We can move forwards full steam ahead in what we want to experience as human beings on this planet. That's what it feels like to me. That's my perception and interpretation of it. As always, with these transmissions, and I haven't said it in a while, so I want to say it again, use your discernment. Take what resonates with you, throw the rest behind, interpret this transmission through your heart, through your own discernment, what makes sense for you. today felt very, very expansive. And I did my best to find words to interpret the energies, to interpret what Prime Creator was telling me. As a channel, sometimes there just aren't words for everything. But I think I did a decent job at finding the words to interpret. So do what you will with this. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And yeah, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for engaging with this information. I appreciate each and every one of you.